meeting, and I want to thank you, all of you, to be with us today in this meeting in a very particular year. We all went through many difficulties in the field of culture in all our lives, but something that we have witnessed for sure is that the culture remains very important in the life of every citizen all around the world. And so this makes that us believe that our role in UCLG and our role in the Culture Committee is really important. And during this year, in the committee, we've tried to provide answers to the COVID-19 crisis from the cultural dimension of development, to provide answers from this point of view, and to adapt programs and to go on with the work that has been done already throughout the years within the committee. So first of all, I also wanted to thank Jordi Pascual and all the team in Barcelona for all your commitment and always your deep commitment and enthusiasm, even throughout the crisis, to go on and to help us and to provide information that helped us a lot to see what was going on in other cities around the world, which is one of the most important roles, I think, of this network, is to provide information and bringing us together in the way to find solutions to our problems, and this year particularly to face the COVID crisis. So now I would like to invite my colleague Guadalupe Lozada, the Council for Culture of Mexico City, to take the floor also as co-president of the Cultural Committee. Guadalupe, please.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Buenos días. Yo primero que nada quiero agradecer a la invitación y comenzar expresando un saludo de la jefa de gobierno de la Ciudad de México, la doctora Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo, y aplaudir los esfuerzos realizados para llevar a cabo esta reunión de trabajo, a pesar del sensible contexto mundial que estamos enfrentando. No cabe duda que CGLU es una institución que se ha fortalecido en la crisis. Esto ha sido gracias al compromiso de las ciudades miembros de la Comisión de Cultura en la defensa de los derechos culturales y en su inagotable actividad para lograr que la cultura sea un verdadero pilar de desarrollo sostenible en nuestras sociedades. Se han desarrollado una multitud de estrategias para mantener vivas las expresiones artísticas, la libertad creativa y el apoyo al sector cultural ante la emergencia global. Ahora, en el último trimestre de este complejísimo 2020, corresponde detenernos a reflexionar sobre el trabajo realizado y trazar la ruta en común para el 2021. Nos complace enormemente poder dialogar gracias a las nuevas herramientas virtuales y a nuestra anfitriona, la ciudad de Guangzhou, sobre los retos que nos esperan a nivel mundial. De cara a la Agenda 2030, debemos empezar a pensar cómo reinventar nuestras ciudades en lo que será una nueva normalidad y responder a través de la cultura a los grandes desafíos que se nos presentan, tales como el cuidado del medio ambiente, la reconstrucción del mundo post-pandémico y la inclusión de todas las identidades culturales. En este contexto, desde la Secretaría de Cultura de la Ciudad de México, esperamos lo mejor de esta nueva reunión de la Comisión y agradecemos a todos su asistencia. Bienvenidos, muchas gracias.
Thank you very much, Guadalupe. And I think now it's important to have the wide frame in which the Culture Committee develops its work. And so I invite the Secretary General of UCLG, Emilia Sainz, to take the floor. Emilia, welcome.
Thank you so much, Catarina, and thank you, Guadalupe, colleagues of the Secretariat, members, friends. It's really wonderful to see you again. Indeed, 2020, you know, you have decades that seem to be stuck in one year, and you have years that feel like a decade. And 2020 is one of those years. It feels like a decade for us. I am very happy to hear Guadalupe saying that UCLG has strengthened itself in the adversity that we are facing. I think that local and regional governments have certainly done that, and what UCLG is trying is to meet those same aspirations and expectations. And I have to say that the Culture Committee has produced one of the greatest gifts that we could imagine, that will inspire the work of United Cities and local governments for a very long time, and that will be a very critical piece of our strategic priorities in the future. I am, of course, referring to the Rome Charter. Look, we know that our towns, cities, our territories, our lives, they will never be the same after this. And we also know that many of the things that we are facing are things that we already knew, that have only been exacerbated, accelerated. They have become even more obvious. United Cities and local governments is very committed to facilitate the dialogue towards that transformation that we need, to provide the perspectives that we need to foster change. And even if we don't know what is coming, because we don't, there will be other pandemics and there are other crises as we speak. And I want to have a word now for the beautiful city of Izmir that has been hit by a terrible earthquake, together with many other cities in the area. So we don't know what is coming, but we do know what we need to do, what we need to change. And we know that we will need to create a transformative pact for the future, which I hope our World Council will approve on Friday. That pact will need to be with the people, with the government, and with the planet. And the Rome Charter and the work of the Culture Committee will be critical to develop each of those areas. Colleagues, I cannot wait. I cannot wait what you will come up with, because culture is the limit. Thank you very much for joining us at the World Council.
Thank you very much, Emilia. Now I invite the coordinator of the committee, Jordi Pascual, to take the floor and to explain the work that you have been doing in 2020 and the plans for the year to come, 2021, and which I think includes the award, the summit, the ops, and the Rome Charter. Please, Jordi, if you can explain us a little bit in more detail what have you done this year and what will the next future. Thank you.
Yes, a pleasure, Co-President, to take the floor. Let me share the screen with you all. Now, I think that now the presentation is visible. In this first part, we will try to explain in a very concise amount of minutes, maximum 10, the work we have done on the award, Mexico City UCLG Culture 21 Award, the ops of good practices, the Rome 2020 Charter, and the preparation of the 4th UCLG Culture Summit in Izmir. First, a recall of the mission. The mission of the UCLG Culture Committee is to promote culture as the 4th pillar of sustainable development through the international dissemination and the local implementation of Agenda 21 for culture. Our narrative, you all know this, the triangle, which we believe does not explain reality, and our proposal, culture as a pillar dimension, sphere of sustainability, of sustainable development. And our founding documents a long time ago, Agenda 21 for Culture, 2004, the policy statement, Culture, the 4th pillar of sustainable development, which next week on the 17th of November, we will celebrate the 10th anniversary, approved in Mexico City on the occasion of the UCLG World Congress in 2010, and Culture 21 Actions, the toolkit that we approved in Bilbao. On the award, what we have done. In 2020, we opened the call, we received candidates, and as many of you know, we supported the elaboration of candidacies with advice, with a team of experts that supported the elaboration of candidacies. The meetings of the jury were organized, certainly online, and the jury in May took a decision to suggest to appoint Medellín and Cebu as winners. 7 special mentions: Chiang Mai, Concepción, Manchester, Ramallah, San Jose de Costa Rica, Ulaanbaatar, and Yopougon, and 2 winners for the category personality: Eusebio Leal and Vandana Shiva. Eusebio Leal, rest in peace, he left us in August. In 2021, the work ahead, as you know, we under the recommendation of the jury, we turn a good number of candidacies into good practices. We hope the award ceremony and the events that relate to the award ceremony with seminars and workshops in Mexico City will be able to take place on the 13th of May 2021. And by the end of the year, we will prepare the new edition of the award, perhaps with some changes, so that we can launch the 5th edition in November 2021. You can see some images of the jury here, the 4 winners, and also the reports of the jury, which are now fully available in English, French, and Spanish. The ops of good practices. This is something we are proud of having been able to say, to be able to say that this is a unique database, because there is no other tool that indexes good practices according to SDGs and according also to a thesaurus of cultural policy words, keywords, and also according the 9 commitments of Culture 21 actions. In 2021, we will add the new good practices from the 4th edition of the award, try to consolidate partnerships and widen partnerships, for example, with the British Council, and perhaps analyze sponsorship for the database. You can see a slide of the selection under SDG 13, climate action, or SDG 5, gender equality. The Rome Charter. In 2020, we organized, together with the team of Luca, impressive work of the team of Luca in Rome, wide consultation. We managed to have a final document and to organize a hybrid conference on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd October. I can also say that all videos and documents are already in the website. In 2021, more debates, more seminars, more examples of local implementation will follow, with close involvement of UCLG sections. And as Emilia said, we expect this document to provide a key contribution to the UCLG Pact for Culture. Let me also right now share with you the screen again. It will take a few seconds, but I will now share the video that was prepared by the team in Rome to summarize in a short video the wonderful conference organized by Rome and by us in October. Yeah.
An invitation to create together an alternative future.
We, the people, are the city.
Without social innovation, we will not change our world.
Everyone has the right freely to participate in the cultural life of the community.
Discover, create, share, live, protect culture.
The Charter of Rome helped me in my critique, help us.
The right to imagine is fundamental in enabling social change.
We need culture as food for our souls in order to thrive in life and make our lives meaningful.
The credits also show that this conference was organized in Pala Expo. Wonderful job done by the colleagues in this Roman venue. I will share again the screen to finalize the presentation of the first part one of the work we have done in implementation. Yes, you can now see that the Rome Charter has been translated into several languages. Arabic, thank you to the UCLG section in Middle East and West Asia. Thank you very much, Salim, Osman, and Mehmet. In Russian, by the UCLG section in Eurasia. Thank you, Rasih and Rosalina. And to Turkish by the team in Izmir. Thank you very much, Onur and Ayşegül. The summit, our fourth summit will take place in 2021 in Izmir. This year, in 2020, we have carried on the capitalization of the summit we held in Buenos Aires in 2019. And next year, if all goes well, the date of the summit, 9-11 of September 2021, with an online launch on 10 of June. Please book these dates in your agenda. The main topics are being prepared, and the summit will certainly look at the major conference that is being prepared for 2022 in Mexico, the Mondia Cult Plus 40, which is a major event, very much expected by all those related to culture and development. This is all for part one. Thank you very much, Catarina.
Thank you very much, Jordi, for your very comprehensive notice of all the work that has been done by the committee. And once again, I want to congratulate for this extraordinary work. Now I would like to invite my colleague again, Guadalupe Lozada from Mexico City, to explain us a little bit more about the Mexico City Awards. Please, Guadalupe.
Gracias. Bueno, continúo con lo que habíamos estado platicando. La verdad es que estoy muy sorprendida y muy contenta con todo lo que he visto en esta presentación y con lo que viene. O sea que eso es lo mejor, no lo que ya pasó, que es muy interesante, sino justamente lo que viene. Entonces, hablaremos un poco sobre este premio internacional CGLU Ciudad de México Cultura 21. Este tiene como objetivo distinguir a ciudades y personalidades líderes, como ustedes lo saben, que se hayan destacado en su aporte a la cultura como una dimensión clave de las ciudades sostenibles. Varios equipos, entre ellos el secretario mundial de CGLU, la Comisión de Cultura de dicho organismo y el gobierno de la Ciudad de México, participaron en la promoción de la convocatoria. Paralelamente, numerosas redes internacionales en el ámbito de la cultura, así como las secciones regionales y metropolitanas de CGLU, multiplicaron el impacto de la convocatoria entre sus miembros para recibir un total de 81 candidaturas. Nos complace mucho compartir el gran nivel general de las candidaturas presentadas en la edición 2020 y anunciar que estamos trabajando para que varias de ellas puedan llegar a ser, más adelante, consideradas como buenas prácticas culturales a nivel mundial. También es importante señalar que lamentamos profundamente, como ya lo mencionó Jordi, el fallecimiento de Eusebio Leal, ocurrido el 31 de julio de este 2020. El intempestivo desenlace al padecimiento del restaurador no es óbice para la entrega post-mortem del reconocimiento, que se suma a decenas de premios que Leal obtuvo a lo largo de su fructífera y brillante carrera. Esta cuarta edición del premio ha representado un gran reto para nosotros, debido a que coincidió en el tiempo con la pandemia de COVID-19. Tenemos proyectado realizar la entrega del premio el 13 de mayo de 2021, en el marco de la conmemoración de la Fundación Lunar de la Ciudad de México, el pueblo de Mixuca, Iztacalco, Ciudad de México. No obstante, las nuevas oleadas de la COVID-19 nos obligan a reservar aún cualquier anuncio en torno a la dinámica que realizaremos para este evento. Especial, si será presencial o será virtual, como este mismo encuentro. La crisis de la COVID-19 evidenció que la cultura es un pilar de la vida de las personas y por consiguiente debe ocupar un lugar central en la recuperación y en los programas de desarrollo a largo plazo a nivel local, nacional e internacional, especialmente en el contexto de la década de acción para la implementación de la Agenda 2030 de las Naciones Unidas y los Objetivos de Desarrollo Sostenible. Desde la Ciudad de México quedamos a su disposición para cualquier duda y gestión relacionada con el Premio Internacional CGLU Ciudad de México Cultura 21 y agradecemos todo el apoyo de la Comisión de Cultura para avanzar en cada etapa de este enriquecedor proceso. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much, Guadalupe. It was really important to keep on with the prize this year. And it's really a very important initiative. And I think this award is starting to gain a very important recognition all around the world and putting cultural projects and personalities really in the front stage of the human development. So thank you very much for the initiative. I would like now to give the floor to Luca Bergamo, from Vice Mayor of Rome and in charge of the cultural area, and to take the floor and to explain us a little bit more about the Rome Charter. Please, Luca.
Thank you very much, Catarina, and Jordi, and Guadalupe, and everybody. I guess we are a large group of people today. So maybe a few words about the Charter for those that haven't had the chance of crossing the paths. We name it the Charter for Rome, but then actually it's a collective exercise, and it hasn't been me to propose the name, just to be clear. It's an exercise that results from the work of 45 cities, 40 international networks, and about 100 experts, which was later discussed at the conference Jordi illustrated before, with more and more cities. So the city representatives topped the number of hundreds, more or less, plus 1,500 registered participants. What the Charter is about? The Charter is an attempt to provide a kind of advanced and comprehensive framework to really understand the implication of fulfilling the cultural right as enshrined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So it's just focusing around the notion that Guadalupe was as well mentioning before, is that the fulfillment of human rights is a fundamental condition for human development and for an aware citizenship on not only which shoulder you can build sustainable development. And the Charter somehow combine the principle that were on which basis human rights were identified and then evolved, with the declaration that underlined that there is a duty on the shoulder of local authorities to remove the obstacle that impeded the fulfillment of that right, with a set of implications that spans from actually cultural policy to the transformation of physical space and social functions. To this end, we identify with the Charter 5 fundamental capabilities that are discover, enjoy, create, share, and care, out of which implementation then naturally depends on the specific context of each people and culture, allow each one of us to pursue the objective of fulfilling the right for everyone to freely participate in the cultural life. To this end, it's a powerful tool to connect the work we have been done until now with the framework of the human right and the fight for a sustainable society. And that's obviously coming to us support in the process of UCLG of building global pacts, of cities global pacts, where people and society are at the heart of development. So what we did, you know, more or less, there's been a lengthy process during the first phase of the pandemic to discuss, define the basis of the charter, then share it, change it, adjust it, avoiding any, let's say, monocultural approach, so really discussing it, then publishing, illustrating at the executive forum of the UCLG, then going into the conference. And the conference, the next step is this week having it illustrated at the World Council, where hopefully it become part of this larger initiative that Emilia was mentioning before. In the meantime, jointly UCLG Agenda 21 structure in Barcelona and us, we are structuring a supported team that enable the work to be followed along in the future, and widening the relationship with cities within the network and as well outside the network, so to make it as much as spread around the world, so and cover all the regional areas. To this end, a call to each one of us to maybe get more in deep to understanding the implication, the potential use of the charter, and adopt whatever are the considered relevant measures, so to make it walk on its legs locally. The website is available, is at www.2020romcharter.org. Is in several languages, and you will find there the charter, the conference material, which by the way are as well video of the single speakers edited, so you can actually pick the part you more want, and how the process evolved. I just want to finish to say that I'm personally grateful to all those that have contributed and those as well that have been just listening, because I personally consider the move we have been doing with the charter of great relevance, because the terms of the debate we are creating really enable a kind of partnership and coalitions that are now in the COVID season more visible and possible, and therefore exploit at the maximum the potential that there is in a very risky condition. Thank you very much, Jordan, and all of you.
Thank you very much, Luca. I think the process of organizing and writing the charter and organizing this conference was also a very interesting project, and it was very good that you organized this hybrid conference in COVID time. And so I think it will also be a landmark in the works of the Cultural Committee and the UCLG itself. So thank you very, very much. Now it's time for Izmir and Turkey to take the floor. So I ask Onur Eryuce to to talk to us about our projects, our common projects in the future. But before I give you the floor, I would like to express on behalf of all the members of the Culture Committee our condolence for the earthquake and the victims that happened, I think, 12 days ago in Izmir. I hope everyone in your team, they are all well, and that you are coping with the disaster. And I hope the next future will be a better one for you all. And we hope we can do our summit next year in Izmir. I'm looking forward to go there. So please, Onur, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for this introduction. Yes, I mean, the last week was a very terrible, difficult week for us after the earthquake. But fortunately, in the leadership of Mr. Mayor, we did manage to build the supply chains quickly, and we did manage to provide people shelters and their needs. Everything is getting better now. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to talk to you. I mean, although 2020 was a very difficult year for us, we are so happy that we are going to host the UCLG Summit, Culture Summit next year. And now we have the promising vaccines, so I'm very positive that we will be together here in Izmir, Catarina. Let me briefly introduce you my city. Izmir is one of the largest port cities in Mediterranean with 4.5 million inhabitants. The city has 8,500 years of historical heritages. Thanks to maritime and land routes, Izmir has become an open city to the rest of the world. For hundreds of years, the goods traded through the Silk Road have been sent to European and North African countries from the city. Services and people came to the city along with the goods, but people, they also brought their arts, their culture. The city has become the point where Eastern and Western culture mingles, and where the culture lives together in harmony. Izmir summits will promote culture as the fourth pillar of development and core component of global solidarity. Besides, we are aiming at working and exchanging on fostering cultural policies on heritage, creativity, diversity, and knowledge, which are key for local sustainable development. I can say that in Izmir, we will meet, share, dialogue, and create together the future we want. In this direction, we appreciate the Rome Charter. We appreciate the good work of Luca, along with the UCLG Secretariat, Jordi. We definitely appreciate their wonderful work, and we will keep working from the point they get. In Izmir, we will work together to connect culture and sustainable development. We will invest together in cultural policies. We will provide our societies with the tools for dialogue, coexistence. Of course, this requires the expertise that the participant will bring. In this summit, we will debate on open governance of culture at the local and national and international levels. Through these exchanges on cultural policies, we will imagine the future. We will promote creativity, human experience, progress, and innovation. So we invite all actors related to culture to contribute in Izmir Summit. In this way, we will make cities, our cities, more active in national but also local levels to implement the Agenda 2030 and SDGs. I mean, we are hoping to strengthen our responses to our common challenges in Izmir, Catarina. We are looking forward to see you in Izmir.
Thank you very much, Onur. So as I told you before, also we are also very much we're looking forward to see you to go to Izmir. As you know, we have Lisbon and Izmir. We have been working together as pilot cities, so there is already some exchange between our cities, and we are also the first to become the leading cities of the committee. So we have a lot of in common to share, and well, and I'm sure the summit next week will be again another opportunity to deepen our relations. So
definitely, thank you very much, Catarina.
Remember to come quickly. So now I would like to give the floor to Gonzalo Olabarría, the Councillor of Culture of Bilbao, and then again to Guadalupe Lozada, the Councillor for Culture in Mexico City. So because they wanted to express they wanted to take the floor about their own charters. So Gonzalo, please.
Muchas gracias. Bueno, en primer lugar, saludos, quita el sonido, ¿no? Saludos cordiales desde Bilbao. Saludos especialmente a Jordi y a todo su equipo. Les agradecemos la oportunidad de poder hablar y estar aquí con todos vosotros y vosotras. También quiero felicitar especialmente a Luca y a la Alcaldía de Roma por esta valiente iniciativa que es la Carta de Roma. Quizá esto no lo sabíamos hace un año o unos meses, pero esta se ha convertido en una iniciativa todavía más audaz, porque es una carta que pone en valor todo lo que llevamos años trabajando acerca de la cultura. La cultura como un factor vertebrador de nuestras sociedades, como un elemento garantizador de nuestras libertades y como un elemento que permite un desarrollo integral de las personas, de los seres humanos. En principio creemos que es un instrumento a desarrollar, a implementar, a trabajar todos y todas en conjunto, y además creemos que los valores que se esconden detrás de esa carta pues los compartimos y creemos que son fundamentales para poder desarrollar unas políticas culturales democráticas y avanzadas. Decía que estos valores son claros, son rotundos y que en los próximos años, pues desde luego por parte de la ciudad de Bilbao, todo nuestro empeño y nuestro compromiso para que más allá de una declaración de intenciones esta carta sea un instrumento transformador y que permita la consolidación de la cultura como aglutinador de libertad o de libertades. Y desde la Comisión, ¿no?, de Cultura de la CGLU, pues tenemos que poner de manifiesto esa necesidad de la cultura para todos y para todas. Una cultura accesible y basada en los principios de igualdad y de democracia. Y simplemente reitero el agradecimiento, la felicitación al trabajo, a este trabajo que nos toca hacer a todos y a todas en tiempos muy difíciles, cada uno con nuestras circunstancias y nuestras problemáticas, pero lo que nos une desgraciadamente es una pandemia a nivel mundial de la que saldremos, pero solo saldremos todos y todas juntos y juntas trabajando en común. Sin más, desde Bilbao, nuestro compromiso y nuestro impulso para que esta carta se convierta en una realidad a nivel mundial, porque creemos que la cultura y la ciudad son dos vectores que deben ir indisolublemente unidos. Eskerrik asko desde Bilbao. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Guadalupe, please. It's your time.
Y voy. Es que no se escuchó bien, no sabía si ya me habían dado la palabra. Perdón. Bueno, pues desde la Ciudad de México y en nuestro papel de copresidentes de la Comisión de Cultura de CGLU, queremos celebrar el magnífico trabajo realizado por la ciudad de Roma y el equipo encabezado por su vicealcalde, el señor Luca Bergamo, para dar lugar a la Carta de Roma, este gran manifiesto colectivo de esperanza en tiempos de crisis global. La Carta de Roma resulta sumamente valiosa por el contexto en el que surge y por ser un ejercicio de trabajo común, en aras de brindar respuestas coordinadas a problemas que nos competen a todos como ciudades del mundo. Es un paradigma de lo que debe ser el trabajo cultural en clave de solidaridad y una hoja de ruta de los principios que pensamos deberían trazar nuestro trabajo ante los nuevos desafíos que se nos presentan. Se trata de una fuerte y sólida defensa de los derechos culturales, en tanto derechos humanos, además de ser un llamado de atención a las ciudades para que nos responsabilicemos en este proceso y procuremos las condiciones necesarias para que la cultura sea una condición sustantiva en la reconstrucción de nuestras ciudades tras la pandemia de 2010, de la COVID-19 en este 2020. Entonces, creo que sí, resulta fundamental. Es un trabajo de todos y para trabajar mucho mejor en estas épocas que nos ha tocado vivir y que nunca siquiera nos imaginamos. Gracias.
Thank you very much, Gonzalo. Thank you very much, Guadalupe. I think we are a little bit behind the schedule, so I suggest that any questions on this item or comments that should be raised at the end of the meeting. So we are going to now to the next part of our session, and I would like again to invite the coordinator of the committee, Jordi Pascual, to take the floor and explain the work done in 2020 and the plans for 2021 in the areas of advocacy, learning, monitoring, networking, and the impact of the COVID crisis. Jordi, please, the floor is yours.
Muito obrigado, Catarina. Thank you very much. I will share again the screen, and I promise this presentation will not be more than 20 minutes, so that we have enough time for questions, comments at the end of the meeting. I will share the screen. Good. So in this second part, we will explain what we have done and what we plan to do on advocacy, learning, monitoring, networking, and the impact of the COVID-19 crisis. On advocacy, our work is related to the UN 2030 Agenda and the SDGs, our guide, Culture in the SDGs, Guide for Local Action, the campaign from Culture 2015 goal to Culture 2030 goal, and the partnerships we are developing. On the UN 2030 Agenda in 2020, you will know that we entered the Decade of Action. And in the Decade of Action, we, UCLG, we do localization. We have an important document we published in 2018, the guide, Culture in the Sustainable Development Goals, a guide for local action. We were one of the first organizations to translate to our mandate the 17 goals. And it took us a bit more to translate from advice to action that frame, the universal frame of development to which we are all committed. This is why in this 2020, we have managed to organize a new type of workshop, the 7 keys, that we will explain a little bit later. In 2021, we plan to disseminate the guide, certainly to contribute to the high-level political forum in July 2021, and to prepare Mondiacult 2022, because this is also one of the main contributions of the UN Agenda 2030. Let me share with you a slide of the guide, which, as you know, takes the 17 goals and one per one provides advice. This guide can be downloaded from our website in several languages. The second item in this advocacy is the Culture 2030 Goal campaign. Most of you know that this is a campaign we share with several global civil society cultural networks. In 2020, we disseminated a report that we produced in 2019. But this report is very important because we analyzed in depth how the countries are implementing the SDGs. And yes, the implementation is not as cultural as it could be. In 2020, also a few weeks ago, after the initial impact of the COVID-19 crisis, we released as a campaign a statement. In April, we released a statement, and this statement was launched as a side event in the high-level political forum in July. We are now working to have a document that somehow provides a mission to the campaign. We had been working, let's say, informally in a very cooperative and constructive way, but we perhaps need to formalize a little bit what is the mission of this campaign. In 2021, yes, we will try to consolidate the operational connection with some of these civil society networks, certainly to involve them all in the UCLG Culture Summit of Izmir and to prepare Mondia Cult. These are some images of the campaign, the initial campaign, Culture 2015 goal, which finished in September 2015. And these are slides of the documents we have produced as Culture 2030 goal campaign, the report of September 2019, and the work we have done in 2020 around the pandemic. We are working with the UN system and with global networks. And in 2020, we had the pleasure to attend, to take part, to participate in the World Urban Forum in Abu Dhabi in February, and to establish operational connections with several global and regional networks concerned by culture in sustainable cities. Let me mention here WCCF and ICLEI, as well as In Touch, the Cultural Development Network of Australia, and Les Arts et la Ville. In 2021, certainly we will work to consolidate the partnerships with the UN Special Rapporteur on Cultural Rights, with UNESCO, with the EU, and also to intensify operational connection with global and regional networks. This is a slide of the World Urban Forum with the final document very much mentioning the place of culture in sustainable development, as well as innovation. These are slides of the sites of this UN Special Rapporteur on Cultural Rights with UNESCO and the European Union. We are also working closely with all these three important international organizations. The work we do with cultural global networks, ICOMOS and IFLA. Let me mention that both organizations have asked to explore a memorandum of understanding with UCLG. And we are working to support all kinds of events and seminars organized by our partners, Creative Mobilities or the Climate Heritage Network, to name just a few of them. On learning, I will now pass the floor to Marta Llobet, who will explain what we are doing in the domain of learning. Marta, please go ahead.
Thank you, Jordi. I hope that you all can hear me well. Our activities in the learning area are in full swing in spite of the pandemic. We have our new program in place, the 7 Keys, along with the Leading Cities, Pilot Cities, and Culture 21 Lab programs. And as the latest edition, we have a series of webinars under the Learning with UCLG initiative. Of course, in 2020, we have had to reschedule activities of the Leading Cities and Pilot Cities programs and to organize some of those activities online. In 2021, these programs will continue to develop as one of the main axes of our work with cities in the framework of culture and sustainable development. As for the 7 Keys, we are happy to announce that Mexico City, Xi'an, and Bulawayo, greetings to all of you, are ready to implement a program which will be widely disseminated in 2021 with the cooperation of UCLG sections and partners. Next, please, Jordi. Yes, the 7 Keys is a participatory workshop, as you may know, to integrate the cultural dimension in the localization of the SDGs. It is designed for cities and local and regional governments all around the world and will be delivered by the UCLG Culture Committee and by UCLG regional sections, as well as by key partners. In the workshop, participants will discuss until reaching 7 keys that local actors can commit to localize the SDG through culture policy making. So each city or territory will have their own 7 keys. We believe this is one of the ways forward in this decade of implementation of the SDGs, in which the cultural dimension of development must be explicitly considered and become really operational. And having said this, next please, the Pilot Cities program is still the entrance to local cultural policies and sustainable development. We have many cities currently involved in the program, which are successfully shaping and implementing their work plans based on the thematic areas identified in the guide Culture 21 Actions. Phases of the program are being adapted and will be adapted according to the needs of each city, especially phase 3, the implementation of the work plan, which usually involves 2 or more peer learning visits to pilot cities sharing the same interests and goals. We are very proud of the ongoing work with Esch-sur-Alzette, Elefsina, Escazú, Córdoba, Konya, Tenerife, Swansea, Bemao, Santa Fe, Leeds, Jinju, Galway, and Tarrasa, which is soon to finish. The cities of Namur and Gabrovo finished in 2018, while Cuenca, Concepción, and La Paz finished with excellent results in 2019 and 2020. And there is exploration to become leading cities. And other cities, such as Belfast, Makati, or L'Hospitalet de Llobregat, have expressed the wish to become pilot cities as well. So we would like to take this opportunity to thank all the cities for your engagement and efforts to keep progressing actively and meaningfully. You have our full support. As for the leading cities, next please. The Leading Cities program is the network of the most experienced cities in the field of culture and sustainable development. Currently, we are doing cutting-edge work with the cities of Buenos Aires, Mexico City, Lisbon, Rome, Izmir, Malmö, Barcelona, Washington, D.C., Jeju, Bilbao, Abitibi-Temiskaming, Bogota, and Vaudreuil-Dorion. Congratulations to all of you as well. You are a true example and inspiration for many cities around the world. Well, and this is one of our main answers to the COVID-19 pandemic. 3 webinars on the potential of culture in the SDGs and culture, cities, and the pandemic. These webinars will be implemented in the coming weeks and in 2021, and we will explore new issues to create other webinars as well. We invite you to explore them in the Learning with UCLG platform, which has been launched recently, and register according to your interests and needs. Next week, we will facilitate webinar 1 and webinar 2 on the 17th and the 18th of November. And finally, we are fully committed to create and facilitate more peer learning exchanges among cities and local and regional governments, online or physical when it's possible in the next months. At the bottom of this slide you are seeing, you can see screenshots of our Twitter account of 2 of the latest peer learning activities organized with the cities of La Paz and Jinju. Wonderful examples of collaboration, which prove that with proper adaptation, the virtual sphere can be really effective and fruitful, although we hope that we all can meet again soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Marta. Yes, indeed, we had doubts in March, April, May, whether we would be able to adapt to the virtuality, these visits, but all involved in the visits that we organized last week were impressed that, as Marta said, if they are well prepared, those visits are extremely beneficial. Thank you very much, Marta, for great work. Communication is also very important in the work of the committee, and now I invite Sarah Vieux to take the floor to explain what we do with communication. Sarah.
Oui, merci Jordi. Je vais parler en français pour amener un petit peu de diversité linguistique dans cette réunion, étant française moi-même. Donc la partie communication, comme le disait Jordi, représente une grande partie de notre travail au sein de la commission. On met vraiment un point d'honneur à essayer de promouvoir et de disséminer l'ensemble des travaux qui ont déjà et qui vont par la suite continuer à être présentés par mes collègues, parce qu'on part du principe qu'on a beaucoup d'activités et que sans visibilité sur ces activités, on perd beaucoup de portée finalement. Donc on met une importance sur la communication. Tout d'abord, est-ce qu'on peut... Oui, merci. changer de slide. Donc, tout d'abord, présenter le principal site web de la commission rapidement, donc, qui est le site en fait qui héberge la plupart de nos activités, qui est une vitrine véritablement de nos activités, dont les programmes de travail dont vient de parler Martha, également nos campagnes de plaidoyer et nos actions de plaidoyer, nos rapports, tous les travaux en fait qui sont réalisés par la commission en collaboration avec CGLU, avec les sections, avec nos partenaires à travers le monde. Donc, ce site est la principale référence en fait pour nous, et donc c'est agenda 21 culture.net. Je mettrai le lien tout à l'heure dans le chat. On a également un site dédié au prix, avec l'actualisation en fait sur les éditions. Donc pour le moment, les résultats voilà, accessibles exactement où le curseur est en train de pointer maintenant. Donc le site dédié au prix avec les résultats des 3 éditions du prix qu'on a déjà mené, et des 4 éditions du prix qu'on a déjà mené, et également dans le cadre de l'organisation des prochaines éditions, les règles de participation, la présentation des formulaires également qui permettent aux villes du monde entier, aux villes et aux régions, aux gouvernements locaux et régionaux du monde entier de participer à ce prix. Et donc, avec une présentation donc, des gagnants, des candidats, des mentions spéciales, des résultats en fait, de chaque édition. On a également un site dédié au sommet culture qu'on organise tous les 2 ans, qui a été tout à l'heure introduit par Onur de la ville d'Izmir, et qui se déroulera dans la ville d'Izmir l'année prochaine. Qui est un site en fait davantage d'informations, avec des informations sur le sommet en lui-même, le programme du sommet, les intervenants, les informations logistiques, et également une partie d'inscription. Donc ce site sera probablement lancé l'année prochaine, en 2021. Et enfin, on a un 4e site qui est le site des bonnes pratiques de l'OPS qu'a mentionné tout à l'heure Jordi, donc qui recense à l'heure actuelle 209 bonnes pratiques, qui en recensera davantage encore l'année prochaine, puisqu'on a identifié de nouvelles bonnes pratiques lors de la 4e édition justement du prix international. Et donc ces pratiques qui sont indexées selon les 3 critères mentionnés précédemment, donc qui sont les ODD, les 17 ODD, objectifs de développement durable, les 9 engagements de culture 21 actions, et des mots-clés. Ce site qui est d'ailleurs disponible, ainsi que les bonnes pratiques, en français, en anglais et en espagnol. Et enfin, on collabore également sur 2 autres sites qui sont le site spécifique dédié à la campagne Culture 2030 Goal, qui est un site qu'on manage en collaboration avec nos partenaires en fait, de la campagne, et sur lequel on peut trouver l'ensemble des documents de la campagne, l'historique, la déclaration également mentionnée par Jordi tout à l'heure, ainsi que la possibilité d'y adhérer à cette déclaration. Et enfin, le site web qui a été partagé à travers le chat, dédié à la charte de Rome, voilà, qui est aussi un site qu'on promeut énormément, qui est très important pour nous, et sur lequel vous trouverez également toutes les informations utiles. On communique principalement à travers une newsletter dont vous voyez un exemple là sur la slide, qui est envoyée toutes les 2 semaines à nos partenaires, nos collaborateurs, les amis de la commission de manière générale, toutes les personnes qui sont en fait intéressées par les activités qu'on peut mener ou auxquelles on peut participer. Cette newsletter, elle est envoyée à plus de 13 000 personnes, donc toutes les 2 semaines. On vous invite bien évidemment à vous y inscrire. Il y a un lien sur le site de l'agenda 21 de la culture. Et on y promeut principalement nos activités, les activités également de CGLU, ainsi que toutes les activités pertinentes de nos partenaires, de nos collaborateurs. Donc, je vous invite fortement à vous inscrire à cette newsletter si vous ne voulez rater aucune information qui pourrait vous être utile. Et enfin, non, pardon, quelques publications également annexes, comme vous pouvez les voir sur l'image qui vous est projetée, dont Culture 21 Review, Culture 21 Revue en français, qui est en fait un magazine qu'on édite pour couvrir 2 années d'activité. Donc, la première édition est sortie l'année passée et couvrait nos activités en 2014 et 2015. Et la deuxième édition ne va pas tarder à être publiée, devrait être publiée avant la fin de cette année et couvrira donc les années 2016 et 2017. Je mets en avant particulièrement cette publication parce qu'elle est un très bon reflet du travail que mène la Commission. Et enfin, terminer sur notre présence sur les réseaux sociaux. Est-ce qu'on peut changer de slide, s'il vous plaît? Merci. Et donc, notre présence sur les réseaux sociaux, on dédie également du temps à la communication en ligne et en live, en direct, notamment sur Twitter, qui est notre réseau social sur lequel on communique le plus, où on dénombre quelques 7000, un peu plus de 7150 followers. Donc, c'est notre canal principal en fait, de communication et notamment de communication en direct sur l'organisation d'activités, d'événements, d'ateliers, etc. On est également présent sur Facebook, sur Instagram, qui sont 2 réseaux qu'on doit encore développer. Sur YouTube pour le partage d'éléments vidéo, sur Flickr, où vous pourrez trouver tous nos albums des principaux événements et activités qu'on a pu mener. Et enfin, j'oublie un réseau, je crois. Ah non, j'ai fait le tour, et donc non, sur YouTube, pardon. Voilà, donc je vous invite à consulter tous ces éléments. Je vais partager maintenant dans le chat les différents liens qui peuvent vous être utiles, à nous suivre également sur les différents réseaux que vous voyez apparaître à l'écran. Et puis, je rends la parole à Jordi. Merci.
Merci beaucoup, Sarah. Merci beaucoup. Thank you. And now, as you can imagine, we can be doing so many activities because of the fact that we have a good finance flow. And here I invite the Director of Finances of UCLG, Pere Ballester, to take the floor. Pere.
Thank you, Jordi. I will hablar en español. En esta slide intentaremos ser breve, por lo que comentábamos del tiempo. Hemos intentado reflejar un poco las actividades que ha venido desarrollando la Comisión desde el año 2015, todo lo que son los Pilot Cities, 26 programas que Marta Llobet comentaba en 18 países diferentes, los Leading Cities, 20 programas en 11 países, los Culture Lab, 5 durante este periodo, las 4 ediciones del Premio de México y las 3 ediciones de la Cumbre de Cultura. Este engranaje a nivel de actividades por parte de la Comisión se enmarca dentro de lo que es el Secretariado Mundial de CGLU. Remarcar que a nivel de recursos, fundamentalmente, hemos puesto las cifras del año cerrado que tenemos actualmente, que es el año 2019, y felicitarnos por las contribuciones por parte de la copresidencia, que es una parte importante de los recursos para poder implementar las actividades. Los programas de Leading Cities y Pilot Cities, todo lo que son las actividades de aprendizaje, tienen una plurianualidad en el sentido de que no se materializan únicamente en un año, sino que son 2-3 años aproximadamente los que tardan en materializarse, y los ingresos quedan distribuidos a lo largo del periodo. Y en la parte de los gastos, fundamentalmente estamos hablando de recursos de personal, reforzar la idea de que todas estas actividades que han comentado mis compañeros se hace con una estructura de 3 personas y el soporte del Secretariado Mundial, en diferentes áreas con las que colaboramos, la parte de comunicación, la parte de finanzas, la parte de learning advocacy, pero son 3 personas las que llevan adelante las actividades que hemos marcado durante esta presentación y el soporte por parte de los expertos que llevan adelante lo que es los programas de aprendizaje. Y poca cosa más, Jordi, te devuelvo la palabra. Si hay alguna pregunta, encantado de responder.
Thank you very much. Muchas gracias, Pere. Muchas gracias. Yes, this is true. We are 3 people, and we do our best. And I can say that the team that we have is extraordinary. Let me also say hello to Jordi Baltà, who is observing the meeting, because he used to work full-time with us since March, and a part of the work we have been doing this year is also a product of him. And we do it with much pleasure in the UCLG World Secretariat. Thank you, Pere, for all the support you are providing to the work of the committee, and thank you to all the teams with which we closely cooperate on a daily basis. To finish this presentation, I promise I will be brief in the next 3 minutes. Networking. We have produced in this 2020 our first report on COVID-19. We expect to produce a final report on COVID-19, inshallah, when the pandemic is over. And we are considering reports on climate change, on the cultural dimension of metropolis, and perhaps on a gender perspective to cultural policies. This is to be explored with the governance team. Very closely working with all areas, programs and activities of UCLG. Here, let me mention a very important report that UCLG with the Global Task Force published in September, the report to the UN 75 on how we envision the global future. Here, in this report, the image of culture as one of the main components of sustainable development is very clearly expressed. And I strongly recommend to have a look to this report. This is the report in which UCLG says how the world in 2045 should be. Certainly, we will be participating in the executive bureaus, world councils, policy councils, and in the global task force, as we have been doing in 2020 and the years before. And 2 important novelties in 2021. Gold 6, the report, the research that UCLG is doing as a team devoted to inequalities. We have been asked to provide evidences and to support the narratives on inequalities and how this is related also to the domain of culture, and to contribute to the local for action hubs. In fact, the 2020 Rome Charter is already one of the local for action hubs. With the sections, we plan to work even more. In 2020, we have been working with ASPAC on the Jeju Global Youth Culture Forum, with MEWA, Middle East and West Asia, Africa, Metropolis, Eurasia, and Mercociudades on the Rome Charter, with the African section of UCLG on training and capacity building. And 2021, we expect to work with Asia Pacific, also on the Youth Culture Forum of Jeju and perhaps Surakarta. Certainly the impressive work that the capital of culture, the African capital of culture, is preparing, and with MEWA, or with webinars on culture in the SDGs, with Eurasia implementing the Rome Charter, and with all sections on the implementation of the 7 keys. This is our governance team, co-presidents Buenos Aires, Lisboa, Mexico City. A pleasure working with you all. Thank you very much, Enrique, Catarina, Guadalupe, and Jose Alfonso, for the privilege we have of having a close relation with you, and also Barcelona, Bilbao, Bogota, Jeju, Rome, and Porto Alegre as vice presidents. In 2021, we will have to welcome new members of the committee. As you know, UCLG called for a renewal of membership in committees, and we expect to have new members very soon. And last but not least, the impact of COVID-19 in this 2020. We reacted with these 6 different products. First, we participated in the live learning experience run by UCLG. We opened a website, a page in our website in which we accumulated evidences, examples of how the cities and the networks were reacting to the crisis. We produced a report in early June to summarizing and also capitalizing some of the lessons learned. We were able to place culture as one of the main areas for the Decalogue for the post-COVID-19 area. We worked with the Culture 2030 campaign to ensure that culture was one of the areas of discussion in the high-level political forum, and the Rome Charter as the main document we have been able to produce this year. A few slides of how many of you have shown commitment to adaptation, mitigation, and imagine the future post-COVID-19. And this is the slide in which it shows that in point number 8 of the UCLG Decalogue for the COVID-19 aftermath, we have culture as an antidote for the secondary effects. My apologies, because we have taken a lot of your time in this part 2 for the explanations, but it is very difficult to resume in less time what we do. Catarina, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, you all, Jordi Pascual, Jordi Balta, Sara, Marta. It's an excellent work, as I always say. Thank you very much. So I just wanted to add in this wider context of the importance of these the UCLG and the Culture Committee, that in Lisbon we are having also an initiative through a network called Arte em Rede, which is a network of 17 municipalities which Lisbon is leading. It's a network that exists for 15 years about local cultural development, and we just launched an initiative called Compromisso Cultura 2030, so Compromise Culture 2030, in which we are launching a discussion about local cultural policies and the importance of the objectives of the Agenda 21 for culture, and raising the awareness for culture as a fourth pillar of sustainable development. So we have been doing workshops in all these municipalities. We haven't achieved to do them all because of the COVID, but we will try to have them all until the end of the year, and it's really has been a very important also process of bringing smaller cities in our country, in the region of Lisbon, in the goals and ideals of the Agenda 21 for culture, and spreading the message all over the country. So thank you all for your support. So now it's time for questions and comments, and I wanted to start with giving the opportunity to Enrique Avogadro, also co-president of the Culture Committee. Enrique, please. Hello, the floor is yours.
Hola, Catarina. Hi there. Prazer de ficar em contato com você. E with all our friends from our network, I also want to congratulate Jordi and the whole team. It's really amazing, the amount and quality of the job that you're doing. We are really honored and very proud. And I really appreciate the opportunity on behalf of the city of Buenos Aires to co-preside the Culture Commission. And in our case, during this year, our commission has been really important in terms of sharing best practices, experiences, learning from other cities, and the way they were coping, and they are coping with COVID-19. Buenos Aires is behind in a couple of months from what's happening in Europe. So for us, it's really important to be up to date to how the cultural sector is reacting, how to better ensure that our sector can be open, even though we have these challenges ahead. Actually, during this week, the city of Buenos Aires is asking to the national government to open our theaters and other performing arts centers with, of course, a protocol very strict, and the international experience on this area is really important for us. I would say that the importance of the Commission, it's much more relevant during crisis than before, but of course we are hoping to learn from this international or universal crisis, to learn that the network is stronger if we participate. And the commitment of all our members to the Commission, to the idea of sharing experiences and best practices, learning from each other, sharing projects as we did during this pandemic, for instance, with the City of Mexico and with many cities that are part of the Commission. We managed to share contents that were freely available on our platforms, our digital platforms, making culture a bridge in this time of distance. We launched, as soon as we began this pandemia, Buenos Aires Cultura en Casa, which has been a huge success. And now we are launching a new website using this experience. It's called Vivamos Cultura, which is now a proper streaming platform with all our contents available for free, and with the idea of continue sharing what other colleagues in other cities are doing. Again, understanding that culture is one answer to this time of crisis, and it's definitely a tool to build up better in terms of citizenship. So I want to highlight the importance of working together, sharing experiences. As I said, we shared contents. We also participated in Beyond the Outbreak, the live learning experience. We also, of course, and I want to congratulate Luca and our colleagues in Rome for Carta de Roma and the conference that went with that. And of course, also congratulate the City of Mexico because they moved forward and continue with the international award, which is really important. As you all know, in 2019, we hosted the CGL, the Culture Commission Summit in our city, with many of you coming down to Buenos Aires. From this perspective, it seems like science fiction that we could bring you all to our city, share our food with you, and enjoy culture in our city in the way we do it, which is very passionate, as you know, hugging and kissing all the time. But I'm sure that we will be able to do that again in a not so distant future. I'm sure that we have a lot to learn from this experience. I again want to congratulate Jordi and the team for all the programs that you shared with us and the activity of especially the pilot city program, Culture 21 Love, the leading cities, the sharing of the 7 keys, and all that we already know, but from this meeting we've learned how we managed to move forward so fast within and through this pandemic. So again, thank you. It's really a pleasure on behalf of the people of the city of Buenos Aires to be part of the commission and co-presiding it. And again, I am sure that next year we will need much more than ever to be working together, hand in hand, for culture and for the people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Enrique. Hope to see you soon. So now it's the time for comments and questions. And I know that Guadalupe wants to take the floor.
Sí, muchas gracias. Yo solamente de nuevo para agradecer este tipo de reuniones que nos acercan mucho en esta época de pandemia en la que pues no podríamos vernos si no fuera gracias a que ahora la tecnología nos ha permitido unirnos. Y bueno, sí, festejar con Buenos Aires, que hemos estado trabajando en nuestra plataforma cultural. Hemos compartido una plataforma muy interesante. De veras, tenemos millones y millones de usuarios. Pierdo ahorita la noción de los números de la gente que se ha acercado a esta plataforma que hemos hecho con Colombia, bueno, con Bogotá, con Lisboa, con Buenos Aires, unidos, más lo que hemos subido a la Ciudad de México, de las actividades de la Ciudad de México. Creo que de verdad, actividades como esta, pero además la creatividad que hemos desarrollado todos para lograr que la cultura siga siendo ese pilar y sobre todo, creo que es fundamental dejar claro el acompañamiento para la gente en estos momentos de soledad, de aislamiento, de pena. Hemos tratado de acompañarlos, que eso para nosotros ha resultado fundamental en estas épocas, que sientan que la cultura los acompaña, que está cerca. Y entonces, actividades como esta reunión, yo felicito a Jordi, por supuesto, por esta, híjole, nos ha dejado impresionados con estas presentaciones, esta actividad, estas prácticas, y sobre todo, creo que la verdad, quise tomar la palabra para felicitarlos y felicitarnos, porque la cultura no ha dejado de estar presente. Ha sido otro de los bálsamos, no solo la medicina ha servido para combatir la pandemia, la cultura ha sido este lazo de unión y esta fortaleza, esta forma de fortalecernos en momentos de crisis, sentirnos acompañados, y ahorita por todos ustedes también es fundamental. Tenemos mucho que aprender, mucho que hacer juntos, y sobre todo, creo que nuestro objetivo principal debe ser que todos estos documentos que estamos viendo y comentando se transformen, como ya lo han dicho ustedes, en buenas prácticas, porque eso es lo que finalmente buscamos todos, ¿no? Muchas gracias, no quiero quitar más tiempo. Perdón, gracias.
Thank you very much, Guadalupe. Muchas gracias. I don't know if there are any comments more. Anyone? Are there any people more to? So no, if there are no other questions, well, we are about to finish the meeting. And what I would want to say is, although there are good news about the vaccine, we still have more months ahead before the pandemic is over. So the months ahead will be difficult ones. So we wish to express the solidarity of Lisbon to all people that are struggling in the front lines of the battle, to all families, to you all, to your teams, and for your courage and determination. And we hope you all keep safe and well, and keep working, and keep facing all these difficulties that this time has presented us. But we have to have hope for the future, and also, of course, with culture, I think culture closer to our daily life. It will happen. It will help us a lot to go through this storm. That it's really a storm that we are going through. So thank you very much again, and I will give the floor to Jordi and the Secretariat to make the final remarks. And good work to all, and keep safe. Thank you very much.
Muito obrigado, Catarina. Muchas gracias, Enrique, y muchas gracias, Guadalupe, por la confianza que nos dais. And thank you very much also to Barcelona, to Bilbao, Eskerrik asko, to Bogotá, to Jeju, Kamsahamnida, grazie, Luca, Rome. Thank you very much. And special thank you to those in Asia Pacific following the meeting. Xi'an, I have seen our colleagues in Xi'an still following the meeting. Thank you very much, Will. I see you. Our apologies. It was very difficult to condense in 90 minutes all what we have done, what we are doing, and what we will do. Write to us if there are questions, comments, please, in the next days. Do not hesitate to do that. Second, thank you to the interpreters. We are aware that this is a very difficult work in these times of pandemic. Thank you very much to all the teams involved, those in Guangzhou and those in Barcelona. Moltes gràcies. Thank you very much, Xie. And last but not least, please turn on your cameras so that we can take a picture, a virtual picture of the meeting. It is important that we register this moment and stay connected during the next minute. Once this minute is over, we will show the video of the UCLG World Council in Guangzhou. Thank you very much again. Stay well and see you very soon. Sarah, when you have the pictures, the video can be played.
I have it. I have them. So perfect.
Good. Stay well. See you soon. Virtually, very soon, and certainly in Izmir in September. Certainly. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.